Hey, I'm Tom Reber, and I'm standing here with my new bass guitar, and I'm excited to do our first Facebook Live session on the new Tom Reber Facebook page, and I'll go into it at a different time of why I needed to start a new page. It's a long story. But anywho, so why am I standing here with a bass guitar today that I don't know how to play? And it's basically because, no pun intended, I've been a drummer for about 30 years. I did a lot of live work. I did some studio work. I can, pretty much just sit down at a kit and play pretty well just about anything. And recently I started teaching myself the bass because I really wanted to learn how to be a bass guitarist. So I love the bass. I love what you can do with it. I love the sound of it. And so there's a lot of reasons why, I started to do that. Anyway, so I recently started teaching myself using YouTube and some things like that. And it's reminding me of like how I learned to be a drummer. I learned how to be a drummer by sitting down when I was a kid, and I would put on Led Zeppelin and Police albums and things like that, and I would like records and headphones, and I would sit at my drum set, and it would take me 20 minutes to figure out one little part. And I'd lift the needle, and I'd work that thing out, and I'd figure it out. And in the music world, it's called, you're going into the woodshed and you're just kind of figuring some things out. And you're paying your dues and honing your chops and all these things like that. So as I'm thinking back to that and applying what I'm learning as I'm teaching myself the bass, which is super cool, it made me think about the correlation that this type of stuff has on building and growing a business. And one of the big issues that I'm hearing a lot lately, is business owners are having a hard time, the contractors, service business owners, people I work with are having a really hard time staying in control right now for various reasons. And so today for the next, 5 to 10 minutes, I just want to talk a little bit about some things that I really believe will help you stay in control as you are growing your business. And if you're lucky, maybe I'll play a little bass at some point here today and show you what I'm learning. But I think the first way that you stay in control, and by the way, anyone watching this live right now, I know this is a newer page and stuff, somebody just click in there or let me know that you can hear me, because I'd hate to do this whole thing live and my mic's not working for some reason. I think I tested it. I think we're good. But anyway, I know we got a couple viewers on now, and hopefully y'all can hear me. But the first thing that we need to do is, all right, I'm clear. Thank you. Thanks, Roz and Dan. You got to make people earn your time. Lately, I have been blown away by how much this theme is just popping up in my own life. It seems like everything I read, everything I'm clicking on or watching, podcasts I'm listening to, this theme keeps popping up that if you want to be in control of your business, you've got to learn to say no to almost everything. And that's really tough because, as business owners, entrepreneurs, we really want to serve people. We really want to go the extra mile for people. And I'm finding that if we're not careful, if we don't respect our time, other people aren't going to respect our time. So make people earn your time. And one of the ways you do that is you clearly understand where it is that you want to go with things, what your big goals are, what your big rocks are, if you want to bring in, Stephen Covey stuff from, 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was. So, before you say yes to anything, having coffee with somebody, a meeting, sorry, I don't know what happened there. My phone rang, so I don't know how to disable the phone and do this at the same time. But before you say yes to anything, let's make sure that it's in line with where you want to go. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, as a business owner, that I think steals a lot of our time and makes us feel like we're out of control, is we are not super clear on who we want to serve, what type of customers that we want to serve. And the cool thing is we get to build our own businesses, so we get to say who we work with, who we choose to let them give us money for the service or product that we provide. So if you want to be in control, start from the very tip of this whole process, the whole lead generating process, and understand what that ideal client looks like. Think of the client that you would love to clone, and gear all of your marketing around reaching more of those types of people. Okay, so when you get the ideal client coming into your business, the type of person that you want to work for, who respects you and what you do, and they want to pay you, and they find the money to pay you, and they're fun to work with, you're going to have a much easier time throughout the rest of the process of fulfilling things in the business. All right. So be picky, be really picky on who you serve. Okay, so first, say no to most things if they're not in line with where you want to go. I told somebody the other day, I said, life is too short for us to spend 1 minute of our time and $1 of our money pursuing things that we truly don't want. So, make people earn your time. Be really picky on who you serve, the type of clients that you serve, the type that you allow to come into your business. You have control over that. My spidey sense tingles from time to time, and it tingled not too long ago in one of my companies about bringing on a certain client, and we did against kind of my better judgment there, and it turned out to be a total pain in the ass. All right, so follow your gut and really get clear on who you want to serve. Third thing that really comes to my mind is you've got to control the sales process. We get out of control so often. We produce proposals and we run around and do our sales tap dance and presentations and all these types of things for people. And we do this out of the goodness of our heart. We do this with the intention that we're going to win them over, where I'm finding that if you want more control in your business, you've got to back off, learn to use the telephone, create some systems in your business. Where my phone rang again, so hopefully, Dan, if you're still on, or anyone that's still on this thing, let me know that I'm still talking, because I don't know what happens with these things when the phone rings. But take control of that sales process. One of the quickest ways, easiest ways that you can take control of the sales process is, as business owners, a lot of us have a we serve these types of people. Like I said before, you want to be really clear on who you work for, but you also want to set the tone in the sales process of who's not a good fit for your business. So like for me as a coach, when somebody's going to work with me, if they're not willing to be humble and be teachable and coachable, it pauses and puts me back on live. Okay, cool. Thanks, Gina. If you're not willing to take it on the chin and hear some straight talk and be challenged and all these other things, then we're not going to be a good fit. If you're a contractor, okay, who's not a good fit? If you're a contractor, who's not a good fit for your business? You can use that in your sales process when you're on the phone with people, and don't be afraid to talk money. In our Contractor Sales Academy, which a lot of you have heard me talk about in the past, our whole thing is we want to control that sales process right from the first communication with people. We want to know, our number one goal is not to run out and do a proposal or a presentation for somebody. It's not to send them a bid. It's not even to win the job. The number one goal is to see if we're going to be a good fit. And when you do that, so when somebody says, I'll give you an example. Years ago, we had a client they were the general contractor on their own house when I owned my painting company back in Chicago. And they basically said, hey, we're going to have you guys come in after the hardwood floor guys, or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact thing. And it was going to throw off our whole system. It was going to make life more difficult for us. It was going to compromise the quality of work, and it was going to end up costing them more money in the long run, because we're going to come back and have to fix some things or whatever. it was. But we, as the professionals, can spot things down the road that our clients can't always spot. And what I've done and what I've seen other people do is that we kind of freak out and we go, oh, I don't want to lose the job. So we jump onto their system, their way of doing the job or the process or whatever. And it ends up hijacking us, and then we lose control because it's not the repeatable system that we're used to doing that delivers the results, the quality, the experience that we can consistently deliver in our business. So take control of that sales process. Let people know that, hey, if you're going to work with me, this is how it works. And I see this a lot in the coaching world and the marketing world. You know, I currently reach out and I work with different coaches and things like that to help my own business. And one of the things that I see them doing a lot is, hey, if you want to talk to me, fill this form out, and then we'll set up a call and see if we're a good fit. So they're taking control of that process right from the get-go. And I think as other entrepreneurs and contractors and stuff like that, we can easily adopt that philosophy of how somebody onboards into our business, and you take control and you set those expectations, because that's what it's all about. And so with that, taking control of that sales process, when you set expectations, you know, so many times we want to please people. We want to say, yeah, we can get it done by this and such date. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said their project was going to be it was a 2-month construction project they were doing with somebody. And I said, hey, if you don't want to lose control and freak out with this thing because you're going to have weather issues, you're going to have a dude who's got court or whatever's going on in the lives of your employees and things like that, you're going to run into some problems on the job. I said, tell the client that it's probably going to be closer to a 3-month project. So under-promise, over-deliver, and that's going to help you, again, take control of the whole process when you work with clients. We recently had a service in our area here in the Manitou Springs, Colorado Springs area. They were going to deliver water. We're have a water service that, you know, we're going to start using. Last Friday, they were going to call. Before they came, they never showed up. They never called. I called them, and basically they said they stopped by and nobody was here. I said, well, you guys said you were going to call. And then yesterday, Monday, we rescheduled for Monday. They never called, never showed again. After I talked to them on Friday about, hey, call my cell number first. I'll make sure somebody's here to sign for this and accept it. Okay, so here we are. They've overpromised twice. They've underdelivered, and we can easily do that in our own businesses if we're not careful. I know I do from time to time because I have a desire to please, and what it ends up doing down the road is it spins me out of control, and that's never good. So another way to keep control of your business is you control who works for you. Those of you that have employees, subcontractors, do not tolerate anyone's attitude or behavior or anything like that that doesn't get you closer to where you want to go. We lose control because we think, I need to hire this guy. I have a lot of work and things like that on the schedule. And so I need bodies. Well, if you don't have the right bodies coming in, then you're always going to be out of control in your business. You're always going to be putting out a fire. You're always going to be having an issue. So we're only going to be as strong in our business as we are personally and as the people and the leaders that we raise up in our business. So make sure you're super picky. It's way better to lose some jobs and to maybe have to move some customers back or whatever, if in the long run you're going to produce a better experience and a better product and have the right people on the team. So don't feel that pressure that you have to hire certain people, that you have to keep certain people on. Which leads me to my last thing, is you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, because this is your business if you're the owner of this thing. This is your baby. You get to build it any way you want to build it. Any way you want to build it. If you only want to work 3 days a week, then guess what? You get to build a business that you only work 3 days a week in, because it's your business. Don't fall prey to comparisons and thinking that you have to look like another business, you have to sound like another business, you have to have the revenues of another type of business in your industry. You define your own success and you build your business that way. I met a contractor years ago. I wish I could remember his name because I would interview him on my podcast. He basically owned a company that did $850 to $1 million, somewhere in there. He worked in the field as just a guy on his crew. He hired a sales guy, hired an office manager, and once a week they would have a company meeting where they'd go over the financials, they'd go over leads and sales and all that owner stuff. But he loved doing the craft that he did. He loved the trade that he was in, and he liked working in the field. So he wasn't even a foreman in his own company. He was just a dude working. Okay, that was his success. He took control of the type of company that he was building. So don't ever lose sight of that if you don't like the way things are going, if you feel like you're spinning out of control, step back and realize that it's all on you as the owner. It's your fault. Good or bad, it's your fault. So build the intentional business that you want to build. All right. So if you're feeling out of control, the last thing I would say is get around other people who think at a different level than you. Okay. You can't always see things in your own life and in your own business. And one of the best things that we can do is surround ourselves with other entrepreneurs, other business owners, other non-business owners, friends, trusted advisors, anybody that you can surround yourself with and lean on in your life that can give you a perspective that maybe you're not seeing. So I would highly recommend just getting some time, a cup of coffee, go have a beer, whatever it is, jump in a private Facebook chat with somebody, groups and pages like this, lean in and post a question and get some perspective. Throw those scenarios out to people and say, hey, how would you guys handle it? This is what I'm feeling. Okay, the power of the group is so, so important. Today on our Contractor Sales Academy call, we do a live call every week on Tuesdays. And our whole purpose of the call, one of our whole purposes of the call today is make sure that you're leaning on the people around you. Okay, sometimes I'm not strong, I'm not wise, there's a lot of things I'm not, but the group can be for me, and they can help lift me up, help raise me up, and in turn, you're going to regain control. All right, so make people earn your time, take control of the sales process, take control of the types of customers that you take into your business, because the wrong customers, man, they're going to throw you into a tailspin and totally freak you out, and that ain't good. All right. Control who works for you. You get to say, if you don't like, we interviewed somebody not too long ago for our company, and they just seemed like they were going to be a diva. I don't know any other way to put it. There was just a lot of drama. We wanted to meet and have a discussion with them about them working for us, and there was drama involved in that. There was drama when we finally met. There was drama surrounding this whole thing. And I think the dude was qualified. I think he would have done a good job. I think his work would have been nice. But at the end of the day, I think he was going to be a pain in the ass to work with. And so we opted not to hire him, even though we really could have used him. All right? Because we have control of our own businesses. Do not settle for less than what you want to build as you go forward. So listen, this is our first live broadcast on this page, and I'll talk more later about why I started another page. Not important here right now, but if you haven't already done so, head over to motorhard.com. I have daily tips to help you grow a stronger business that are consumed in less than a minute. They pop in your inbox, somewhere early in the morning, depending on where you're at in the country. And literally, you open the email, you read it, you delete the thing, and you're done, and you got a thought rolling around in your head that's designed to help you get a little bit stronger each day. Because remember, you just get a little bit stronger over time, and down the road, the compounding effect is huge. It's like, I see Ralph, you're on here, you're a Marine like me, and you remember in land navigation classes, you have what's called an azimuth, the degrees on the compass. And if I'm 1 degree off, it's not a big deal when we were only going 100 yards. But when I'm going, a click away or 5 miles away, that 1 degree has a huge impact over where I'm going. And that's what these daily tips over at MotorHard are designed to do. And these little broadcasts that I'm going to do like this, that are, maybe 10 minutes long each time, is that just 1 little % each time. So over time, it gets you to a higher place. So appreciate you guys sticking with me today. Like I said before, I'm learning bass, and so here you go, man. This has been about 3 weeks of learning, and I don't know how to use all my fingers because I'm a drummer. So here we go. Whoa, messed up. There we go. See, we're messing up. We're practicing consistently every day, right? I learned how to do a little slap and pop like Flea does. Sounds bad, but I guarantee you I'm going to get better. And the same thing with you and your business. Keep practicing this stuff. Keep hitting the rock day in, day out, little changes, and get a little bit better. And I promise you, you're going to master whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. We'll see you guys later, and appreciate you hanging out with me.